Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Keg,
And I'm your co-host, Jordan.
bringing you News from the Trail.
Because I want to see how it works when we talk together.
Okay.
Bringing you News from the Trail. Our first matter of business, we thought it would be perfect to bring some world news, some of the biggest news stories happening in the world right now to all of you all at CT. And our first matter of business is the government shutdown that occurred on October 1st. So according to news sources, Federal News Network, and NPR, the shutdown has happened mostly because of battles on every side. Republicans, according to Democrats, wanted to cut health care for a bunch of Americans across the country. According to Republicans, it's for needed cost cutting. And it's been a big argument because the reason why this is such a point of contention is because of what is needed for the government to work, which is our budget. Every now and then, our government gets together, they have a powwow, and we make what we're going to spend on for the fiscal year. We've been operating on what is called a continuing resolution, which are month-long funding bills rather than fiscal year spending bills. And now those have finally ran out, and when the time came to have a year-long spending bill, no one can agree on anything. And that is just the facts. That is what happened. No one can agree. Spending is an issue, and that's still happening. We're 6 days into the shutdown. What I can tell you is that according to NPR and other news sources, the last government shutdown was under Trump's previous administration, and it lasted 34 days in 2019. And that's about the long and short of it. That's what to compare. We asked a history teacher what their opinion of it. Do we need to worry? Do educators need to worry? This history teacher said no, they do not need to worry. In fact, their quote was that this shutdown mostly affects teachers on a personal scale. This will affect people individually. It's not necessarily going to hit certain businesses hard. So if teachers are listening in, we feel for you. If anyone is listening in that is affected by this, we feel for you. Because, of course, we hope that this shutdown doesn't last very long because it's scary. The government is shut down. And so before we just rant about more news sources and more fact sheet, let's turn it over for our opinions. Jordan, what are your thoughts on this matter? What have you been seeing in the news?
Honestly, I've been seeing very surface level news about the entire situation, but it's easy to at least get a general idea of the massive cons that things like this can bring. I think really it affects everyone on a personal scale because from an environmental standpoint, there's obviously national parks. No one's doing anything there. Obviously, Washington, D.C. is just entirely shut down. So there's no higher authority maintaining the overall structure of our country right now, or at least if there is one, it's definitely not as strong. And so that can have a good doubt of economical issues, environmental issues, political issues. And it really affects everyone because now everyone kind of has to carry their own weight and the government kind of put more onto us.
I definitely agree with that. And it's scary for a lot of people. I'm lucky that none of my parents work in government, but I know many of my good friends that do. Their parents have governmental jobs, and I can only begin to wonder how that is going to affect them.
And they go without being paid because they can't make decisions. They can't come to a decision in time, so they're just working for a really long time without being paid.
In fact, according to the Federal News Network, around 750,000 government workers are expected to be furloughed. And then from the ABC Capitol Hill correspondent, Jay O'Brien, he claimed on a TikTok post that up to 3 million or 4 million are up on the proverbial chopping block to work unpaid or even just straight up be fired.
It's pretty brutal.
Brutal indeed. Our heart goes out to anyone who is affected by this, and we hope that on both sides of whatever political aisle that you are on, that our senators, our congressmen, our president, our everyone can get their act together and decide what to spend money on, because at the end of the day, this affects all Americans. It's not just them, it's not just some, it's all.
And at the end of the day, we're all people. There's nothing that makes us really truly different from one another. So really, if we don't all collaborate to help get through these times, then we're not going to get through it. We're going to have a harder time, and it's just going to go downwards from there. So we all need to support each other and come together and just be there for one another.
And before going back to ranting about facts, this is our one piece of political advice. It's not completely hopeless. We still are able to have input. If you can vote, if you're legally able to vote, vote. Always vote. Vote on whatever you can. Call your congressman if you can. Your input matters as an American.
Your vote is your voice, and if you're choosing not to use your voice, then that's a choice that you can make, obviously. But if you want to see change in society, the first thing that you should be doing is using your voice and therefore your vote.
And going back to the facts, more so the aftermath of what this government shutdown has brought us after 6 days. Trump posted on his Truth Social account 3 days ago in a social media post on his Truth Social saying, quote, "The Democrats want to give your healthcare money to illegal aliens and open our borders to the criminals of the world, a deadly combination because everybody will come." That was posted October 2nd, as well as posting on his Truth Social, "Republicans must use the opportunity of the Democrat forced closure to clear out dead wood, waste, and fraud. Billions of dollars can be saved. Make America great again." Well, Truth Social is a alternative social media platform. It's very similar to Twitter.
It's focused solely around politics, though, right?
For the most part, like a lot of the talks that go on there are politics. But Trump mainly posts on his Truth Social. If you see any, like he posts on his Twitter a lot, but he posts much more on his Truth Social. So always do your checks. I see it a lot. When I was searching through his Truth Social, I started with his Twitter because I was under the misinformation that he was posting all like so much on his Twitter every day. It's mostly on his Truth Social, actually. So be sure to check where people are saying what. And then more facts about what was going on inside of our Capitol building on the day that the government shut down. This is all according to the ABC Capitol Hill correspondent Jay O'Brien via ABC social medias. The main long and short of what happened, a Democrat bill was going to go into effect that was blocked, according to Jay O'Brien, that, quote, wasn't going to happen. This Democrat bill, according to O'Brien, would not have stopped the shutdown because it hadn't passed through the House at the time. Another temporary funding bill that was Republican-backed and passed the House would have extended government funding by 7 weeks. This was blocked. It was voted on by 3 Democrats, and 8 were needed for the bill to carry on through the Senate. So sadly, it did not gain enough votes from across the aisle to carry on with our funding. And then to go back on the topic of, like, people are blaming each other, like with Trump's Truth Social posts, he seemingly seems to blame the Democrats on his saying that the must use the opportunity of the Democrat forced closure. He's blaming the other side of the aisle.
And I think we're at a point where politics has become more about a faction, two factions opposing each other, more than two factions approaching different problems in a different way. So really, it's about opposing the ideals of the other party and then going with your own way instead of trying to at least attack the same problems in different ways. Because overall, the general role of a president, I would believe, is to prioritize the problems that the entire country is enduring rather than problems that they personally believe affect them, their ideals. So there's just a problem with political parties right now because everyone is fighting each other about different things and they're not focusing on what's really important.
And that compromise is needed. That doesn't mean the Democrats are saints either at the moment. The official TikTok page of the Democratic Party posted on October 1st a 2-slide slideshow saying, quote, "The government has officially shut down because of Trump," and, quote, "The GOP would rather shut the government down than protect people's health care." Once again, another, dare I say, extreme comment blaming the entire shutdown on the Republicans, and then when really that's not what happened. If ABC Capitol correspondent Jay O'Brien's claims are to be completely trusted, which I would say that they are reputable, that 2 bills were going through, and the only reason that the Democrat bill didn't pass is because it didn't even pass the House, and the reason the Senate bill didn't pass is because not enough Democrats could have voted on it. So some extreme claims being thrown on either side of the aisle. And as of right now, that is all the news information. That is all the community information that is heard. And it's just up to pretty much a matter of waiting for whatever can come next. Our second matter of business moving on is now our school news. That was our world news section. Now we're going to do some school news. We're going to compress it down to what concerns us. And what we want to sponsor real quick, music, concerts, our school's concert. October 1st, there was the jazz band concert. As of today of recording this on October 7th, there was a choir concert at 7 p.m. today. And on the 9th, there's the fall orchestra concert also at 7 p.m. And we just want to sponsor those. Depending on when this comes out, go to them if they hadn't already happened. But if they have already happened at this point, go to them in the future. I believe that young musicians are just quite simply, they're the future of a new musical generation. We all love music.
And music is a booming industry. Like, everyone listens to some kind of music. It inspires them. It empowers them. So your support of musicians in our community, they don't do it for no reason. They do it because they love it and they want you to love what they do. So supporting them means more than you would think to them. And overall, it just makes them want to keep going when they know that people are there to support them, even when things get hard.
For sure. I know I wouldn't play the guitar for as long as I have if I didn't think that people liked it and if I didn't hear that people liked it.
Yeah.
Support your young musicians, people. Without them, your Spotify playlists are going to be dry one day.
And like, if you're caught up in school and you're not doing anything on a Friday night and there's a concert, just go. It's a good time. It's good music. You can just relax and vibe along. It's all a good time, honestly.
Just quite simply. Support our musicians. Support CT Tunes. And then for our second matter of school news business, we are media people, of course. So we got to talk about some of one of the, if not the biggest days of the year for us media people, Journalism Day. at CU Bowl.
Best believe we're gonna brag about it. Best believe we're gonna brag about it. Come on,
Jordan, feel free to kick us off.
Not to be too boasting, but I mean, we heard it from other people, not even ourselves, that we're an award-winning journalism team, and we want to reflect that in our work. And by going to J-Day, we're reflecting that we're there to show up and we're there to represent ourselves.
Holy award!
Even when we don't win awards, we're still clapping for others because this is a big community. We're all connections to each other. Even when we get jobs in this industry, we're all going to be connections. We're all going to be talking to each other because it's really not as big of a community as you think. It's very tight-knit, and networks can always reach to the farthest reaches of the country, the world, things like that.
And just for scale, at Journalism Day, there was around, if I remember correctly, 68 schools across high schools and middle schools, not just in our district. It's not just a Cherry Creek thing, it's a Colorado thing. So while you may not have heard about this, is a pretty big deal. And also, just to recap how goated your CT media is, we won an All-Colorado, which is the equivalent of a gold medal for our yearbook, which Mr. Jordan Jones...
And that was actually the first time that we have done it. Yeah, and I believe that it is the first time we've done it ever, but I wouldn't know in past times. I haven't really looked into it. But obviously, the support of the CT community and just people enjoying the things that we produce is a lot to us, and we always appreciate any support that we can get.
First All-Colorado in a long time, if potentially ever, for yearbook. So that goes to show how locked in we were.
We're very dedicated to featuring people, all the best moments of everyone, and we just can't do it without your support. So thank you very much.
And if you didn't buy a yearbook last year, shame. And our second award was we won an All-Colorado for our broadcast, our CT TV, those advisory shows that pop up on your advisory classes every now and again. We won a gold medal for that as well.
And there's a lot more work put into those than it might seem face value, because sometimes not everyone's willing to get in front of a camera. Not everyone is willing to speak about deep topics. And so we have to constantly push. And we always try to feed our curiosity by getting these stories out of people. Just anyone, really. It doesn't have to be someone we know. It can be anyone. Everyone has a unique story, and we always want to try and feature that.
Always, we are looking for people to interview. It may not always be you, but you should always be open to it being you. And also, if your teacher is not showing these advisory shows, give them a stern talking to on behalf of media, because I think our shows are pretty awesome and a lot of work goes into them. And I think it's sad that some teachers aren't showing them and showing off our wonderful award-winning journalists.
I mean, it's like watching the news, honestly. It's just watching the news, but the news is exclusive to our school. We get to learn about people in our environment that we weren't previously aware of, and anyone can have a crazy story that you would never know unless you'd seen it. So there's a lot of dedication that comes from the craft, and we really appreciate all the support.
Our third award we won was a award of commendation, which is a silver medal for our news website, cthstoday.org. Go to it, and if you're listening to this right now, bookmark it, because this is most likely on our website right now.
I haven't really done too much work with the website, at least not recently, but honestly, writing is really powerful, and pairing photos that specifically enhance that writing, like you'd think it's just like reading a book and you just go through line and line and line and line. No, it's just like watching a video, but really it's these really powerful stories, these powerful opinions that you can see in a video, but everyone can do that.
Not to toot my own horn here, there's more than just news on there. There's opinion pieces. I myself write a column for the website Riffs and Rants. I review albums, and If not by the time this podcast comes out, if just a little later, I will be accepting student suggestions. That will go on a form for that will probably go on our website and on our social medias on various platforms, Insta, TikTok, the works. So be on the lookout for that. And go look at our website. It's full of a bunch of amazing stuff, amazing news, amazing videos, amazing writing, amazing everything. And to wrap up our awards, for the first time, at least since I've been here, if not the first time ever, CT won the 2025 J-Day Best in Show Awards.
And that's a pretty big thing because towards the beginning of the year, we're still figuring things out. And so we're still trying to find our quality, and we're still trying to build up from last year. And so Best of Show is exclusively what we've already done in the current year. And to be able to make something that can place in that Best of Show category is really huge because obviously there's new people. High school doesn't last forever. We know all that. And just for that newfound quality to be worthy of that award is tremendously, tremendously powerful to us.
It's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. And also, just away from boasting us, going to J-Day was amazing. CU Boulder.
CU Boulder is just really a lovely place to be. The community is so excellent, and the campus is just so incredibly beautiful.
Campus is beautiful. It really is. It's like a little medieval town.
Yeah, it's a town, and everyone there is connected in one way or another.
And also, the food in that student union, oh my days.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Me and Jordan got Panda Express, and we messed it up. It was crazy. We were hungry.
It was definitely the best Panda Express I've ever eaten, so I mean, and that kind of says a lot because you know how Panda Express does most of the time, but
Food you only get on a late night when you have no idea what else to get. But this panda did it right. CU Boulder's Panda does it right.
yep.
Third matter of business, final matter of business is our fun news. And I say news and I'm throwing up big air quotes in our little studio right here. This is where we truly get to yap about upcoming games, music, events, other such things. And I'm going to start us off with some concerts. Or with a concert that I think all of you all should go to. At Ogden Theater, I believe in late October, I don't remember the exact date. I want to say 27th, around that range. Jesse Wells is playing at the Ogden Theater. If you've paid attention to the website, if you've paid attention to my column riffs and rants, you'd have seen that I reviewed 2 Jesse Wells albums, and they've received my utmost praises. I love Jesse Wells. He makes amazing music. Very powerful music, very extremely political, a lot of times about current events, most times, but also a lot of times he makes some fun music, makes amazing music, nice music. He's a folk artist. He's been getting popular in the last 5 or so years. I remember seeing him back in 2020, maybe 2022, and now he's like touring a lot this year. And I think you all should go see him because quite simply concerts are amazing. And for me personally, Jesse Wells is one of my favorite artists that I would kill to see a concert for. Jordan, I want to open that up to you. What concerts do you want to see? Who would you love to see of artists past, present, etc.?
Yeah, honestly, I think recently I just went to a concert for a band that I'm probably going to botch this, but it's called Anamanaguchi, and what they do is actually very cool to me because they like to cover a lot of different songs, and it's just always a good environment, and it's always just loud. I love loud music just so much, and I love hearing the drums and the guitars and stuff. But that was really nice. That was on the I believe 26th of September, so it was fairly recent, a couple weeks ago. Um, I think I would obviously love to see them again. Also, another artist, Porter Robinson. It's been about a year since I last saw him because he doesn't really come around our area too much. But I was at his concert. His music very influential to me, very powerful. So I would always love to see him again because his music is always just so up, like it's just hype or quote hype for lack of a better term. It always just gets you dancing and stuff like that. So in music news, that for me, that's about it.
Porter Robinson, what genre is this guy?
Oh man, he actually started out as like a DJ and then he did a lot of EDM stuff. And then there was there was just kind of an era where I didn't really know what he was doing, but now he's kind of like pop, I would guess. Kind of in that area. It's like a mashup of different genres, to be honest with you, but I like it, so.
And Anamanaguchi, what genre is this band?
Um, it's cool because they actually like it's like rock and then they like do like 8-bit stuff because that's what they started with and that's just kind of their signature thing because I think sometime in I believe like mid 2000s they started making music and back when that was so they were doing a lot of like chiptune 8-bit stuff and then it kind of evolved into this collaborative band and they're all just like kind of playing rock and they're still having the 8-bit. So honestly the 8-bit is always just a callback to who they once were. So it's really just like nostalgic for people who have been listening to them for a very long time.
Sick. Check these people out. Music is amazing. You're going to hear a lot of music on future installments of this podcast. I love music. I know my co-host here, Jordan, loves music. And also, who just doesn't love music? Who doesn't like...
Oh no, I absolutely love music. I've been listening to this new stuff. I don't even really know what it's called, to be honest with you. It's like my best guess is that it's called like bootleg or something, but it's just this really like I don't know, it has a really heavy beat, like really just like over the top. And it's very 2000s-ish. It has that kind of vibe to it. It's like mashing songs together. But it always has this really, really heavy beat, and it's just like really like it overpowers the rest of the song every time the beat goes on. But I really like it just because I don't know, it's pretty hype to me, again, for lack of a better term, but
And what better to yap about other than music?
my God, video games. It's just been a crazy one. It's just been a crazy year.
Video games. Jordan, I want you to start us off here because I know what you are dying to talk about with this section.
Oh my God, Silk Song. Silk Song is just hot off the press, released last month, and it is just it's still hot off the press even a month later just because we waited 6 years for it. The most anticipated game on the Steam marketplace, I would assume, honestly, in the world, if I'm being honest with you.
Fun fact, when Silk Song released, Steam, a very popular online PC marketplace for buying video games, crashed. The website shut down. Couldn't buy anything. PlayStation's online marketplace for the PS5 system and buying their games shut down too. Xbox launcher, their storefront shut down. This game shut down basically all major game selling websites.
And even more shocking, one that a lot of people wouldn't expect, Nintendo even was malfunctioning because of the release of the game. There was a lot of traffic online because everyone was just shuffling to purchase it. And so the game was honest, it was not playable. People were not able to buy it for a good couple hours. It was just that huge.
What has been your personal first experience with the game? How far are you with it? How are you enjoying it personally?
Yeah, I'd say I'm a good, let's give it 4/5 of the way through the game, and I just want to say that it is absolutely incredible. It is just so much fun. I will say it is a bit more challenging, being the official sequel, I believe, to Hollow Knight. and it's just a lot more challenging, and I feel like it's probably easier to get into if you play the first one, but I feel like it takes a lot of endurance and what's the term? I would say persistence in order to get through and actually enjoy it. But I will say it can be frustrating at times, although it's frustrating in a fun way, not an unfair way. But it's been a really incredible experience for me. I've really enjoyed it all the way through. And so that's it for me.
To piggyback off of that, Silk Song and Hollow Knight being an indie game, I'm going to bounce you back with another very popular indie game that is, I would say, still hot off the press, although it's probably slowing down at the moment. Deltarune.
Oh man, Deltarune, there's a lot to say about that.
Deltarune just released, I want to say month or two. Their newest chapter is
I think it's been about
maybe 3 months.
I'd say 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Actually, it's been almost 4 now because I believe it released very early into June. I think it might have been 4 months now, but
maybe around 3-4 months. Toby Fox, Deltarune team released Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. Deltarune is a game very near and dear to my heart. Undertale, of course, was its predecessor. It came out 10 years ago now. Can you believe that?
it's been a long time. And let me tell you, the crazy thing about Undertale is that
That shaped my childhood.
Undertale wasn't even really the game Toby Fox was trying to make. Deltarune has been in the works for over a decade. I'm not going to try to even pull off that pun, but it's been in the works for over a decade, and Deltarune is the game he was really wanting to make. And it's insane to me the sheer talent that Toby Fox has in making his own music for his own game, coding his own game, I would say like 90%.
Writing his own game.
And then he, surprisingly, I didn't even know this, is fluent in Japanese, and he does the Japanese translations for his game.
Funnily enough, he, for the character Jevil, which was a secret boss in Deltarune Chapter 1, Toby Fox did the Japanese dubbing of his actual talking voice, which is crazy to think that a Japanese person do the Japanese dub. In fact, he did, because he's fluent.
He is very fluent in Japanese. I think I've heard a little bit of it after realizing that, but it's just incredible to me, the sheer amount of, what would I say? The sheer amount of just, I don't know. Like, he's just good at everything. He's a jack of every trade, and really just honestly a master of every trade, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even say jack. He's just absolutely incredible at what he does. He makes sure that there's always a high quality product, and for that, everyone thanks him really around the world.
Deltarune peak. It's really good. Its story was really good. Chapters 3 and 4 of Deltarune have been one of the best that we've gotten out of the Deltarune series so far.
He really knows how to create a mix between humor and genuine storytelling, and that is what makes the game so outstanding to play.
You're going to love the characters, you're going to love the villains, the heroes, and even the side characters that you're probably supposed to hate. Quite simply, amazing games, amazing indie titles. Now to come back to more recently, literally I think 3 days ago, PlayStation Studios has released their newest masterpiece, proving that the PS5 does indeed have games. All my friends ribble me that the PS5 has no games. It does have games now. Ghosts of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, has come out.
And this has been highly anticipated because Ghost of Tsushima has received very, very high reviews from critics, players alike. And so there's been a lot of anticipation regarding the sequel to it, Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of people view it as a travesty that it did not win Game of the Year. A couple years ago when it came out, I, of myself, think it was definitely up there for the contender. But to bring it back to Ghost of Yotei, peak, I pre-ordered the game. I was super excited for it. I dropped my $70. I dropped my paycheck on this masterpiece of a game. And here is my experience with it so far. Here's my both my praises and my critiques. And I don't even think I'm halfway through the game. I think I'm maybe a third of the way in, if even that. Ghost of Yotei is quite simply a beautiful game. Ghost of Tsushima's graphics have always been praised since it came out. They were ahead of their time. It was a beautiful game. I've even, friends of mine have said, like, it's even better than real life. Can we get the graphics updates in real life? It is a beautiful game. And the new area of the game, that is Yotei. Who would have thought Ghost of Yotei takes place in the fictional Japanese province, may I say fictional Japanese province of Yotei again. It's a beautiful, beautiful area, new area. I like that we didn't just go back to Tsushima again. I think that would have been kind of a cop-out, but I like the new area, and it is quite simply a beautiful game. My other praises for it, its combat has improved a lot. At first, this was going to be one of my critiques, was its combat. I liked the way Tsushima played a little better, mostly because I'm a baby and Tsushima played a little easier. Ghost of Yotei's combat is much more challenging. If you don't hit a parry, if you don't block in time, you're gonna hit and your HP is going down to 0. One hit is lethal. And that, I didn't like it first, but now that I'm getting into the flow with it, I'm liking it a lot better. My critiques for it is its story. Its story is amazing, don't get me wrong. One aspect of the story is kind of getting me, its pacing. Everything from Ghost of Tsushima, every ability, every power, everything, we're given to right off the bat, the grappling hook from the first game that we had to go pretty much through the entire first half of the game to get. We are given right off the bat without any context. It's just we're given it. The ghost stance ability from the first game where you're able to scare the enemies around you, make them run away and such, we are given that pretty much after the second mission of the game. And so I think that's pretty much my only critique, is I feel like the training arc that we had to go through in the first game is almost absent in this game for a lot of the abilities. But the story itself, past that, is amazing. The main story synopsis is the main character of Atsu. Her in, I don't want to say feudal Japan, but in like medieval Japan, muskets are just like the most advanced technology we have. In the province of Yotei, a revolt had came up by Lord Saito to keep the shogunate out of the province, and they took control of the whole province, and in order to do this, a bloody war happened in the province, which led to Atsu's family seemingly being killed. Trigger warning if brutal stuff is brutal for you. But keep in mind, this is all fictional. This is not real, it's polygons. And then she leaves to go to southern Japan and then comes back to get revenge on the Yotei 6, which is Lord Saito and his band of miscreants, to free Yotei and get revenge. And that's my review of the game so far. It's a beautiful game, little critiques. Hopefully it'll be released for other storefront soon, because as of right now, it is a PlayStation exclusive. If you do not have a PS5, you're cooked. You don't get to play Ghost of Yotei. But if past games are any consolation, eventually Sony will most likely release this game for PC on Steam.
And in past relevant news, critically acclaimed video game studio From Software actually released a title, Elden Ring Night Rain, which is not a sequel, but rather a I would say, side game to their extremely smash hit popular Elden Ring. And so,
And it's amazing DLC. Shadow the Earth Tree. All my days.
what was different about Night Rain was that it's massively online and you're working with a team of you and two other people to take out a bigger enemy. And this is different because notoriously in all of their games, it is strictly single player, and then other people can either help you with certain things or attack you. And so for them to do a massively online game like that is just entirely new for them. And I even believe that this was a test for them to see what was going to happen before they really start to produce the meat of their new title, The Duskbloods, which people have theorized is the sequel to one of their other really popular games, Bloodborne, that released in, I believe, 2015?
I want to say 2015. It was definitely during the 2010s. It was during PS4's reign.
I believe so, yeah. Which is also PlayStation exclusive, similar to Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima at some point, and things like that. It was honestly a really good experience. Night Rain is hard, I would say. It's pretty tricky at first, but when you learn the ins and outs, it actually becomes fun to work with other people and see what happens, the different combinations of skills that you can have and so on. So overall, I don't think it's been that big of an influence for me this year, but it was a very good game.
Video games are popping off for now. There's so many other video games that we can talk about, but I don't want this section to drag on too long, because there's always episode 2 of the Cougars Den.
Of course.
There will always be more.
We'll be back with it.
I am your host, Kegan McLaughlin.
I am your host, Jordan Jones.
We wish you a wonderful rest of your day whenever you're listening to this. Good afternoon, good morning, good night. And remember, we are CT.